out of the $25,000 that you're gonna spend on this, I don't know if it's really worth it.
Welcome back, guys. Thanks for clicking on this video. Really appreciate it. Do me a favor, smash that like button. Give us a subscribe if you're new. If you're not, welcome back. Glad to have you. We wanted to share some news with you guys. This channel is going to be changing slightly. Dripped Out will now be just more focused on reviews, tutorials, upgrades, like testing them, how they compare to other vehicles, whether it's gas or electric. Our main focus is electric vehicles, which will be the majority of our content on this channel. We'll have some gas ones like we're doing today with a snowmobile review. If you are still interested in that fun random content that we have posted previously, which you can see on this channel right now, that will be on our DrippedOutTV channel. That's where we'll be having the fun times, the good laughs, and experiencing life together. So if you want to see more of that content, down in the description there'll be a link to that channel. We don't have content on there yet, but will be shortly. So yeah, glad to have you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and enjoy the video.
Cole's so excited about getting these nice wheels for his snowmobile.
They have straps for it, but I don't like using them. I mean, they really help me, like, it sucks. Okay, so today we are going to be talking about the 2023 Polaris Khaos Boost. I snow checked this back in February of last year, and it took until February of this year to get here. So it was a few months behind. We're here to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of it. To start, amazing machine when it works. It hasn't worked though. It's been terrible. First Friday I went out, threw an EV actuator check engine light, so I took it into the shop. It was there for a week. It got all of the stuff recalled on it pretty much, and the EV actuator redialed. And then I took it back out and it had a low fuel rail pressure sensor. So I took it back to the shop and it needed a new wiring harness, a new ECU, a new fuel rail, a bunch of stuff that it needed. So I've actually only really been able to ride this thing for one good trip, but man, when it rips, it is insane what it can do. Everything works on it pretty good, I mean, other than when it doesn't. When it did work though, I didn't really have any issues. It did have a few little flaws. The button on my 7S display fell off, and my antenna fell off as well. So luckily, Polaris recalled those, although they weren't going to. Or not recalled them, but fixed them. New for, or I guess not new for 2023, these boosts have been out for a few years, and they're still working out the kinks. I still personally think this sled is the best sled that you can get. I've ridden the Gen 5. I had to rent a bunch of sleds since this one was in the shop, so I got to ride a Gen 5. I got to ride an Arctic Cat. I got to ride quite a few different sleds, but this one's still by far is my favorite. The low end power that these create, even though it's a turbo, insane. The boost lag, hardly there. I mean, it's still got it, but not like anything you'd expect. My dad has a 2021 Alpha 1 that we put a turbo kit on, silver kit, and it has way more boost lag. However, the top end of this is not quite a silver kit. So out of the $25,000 that you're gonna spend on this, I don't know if it's really worth it. My dad's Alpha 1 has more power, costs half as much, and quite frankly has been way more reliable. So I don't know if it's worth it, but it is fun to have. They're absolutely insane machines, and what they're capable of is crazy. I mean, you can point it at any hill you want to go up and it just eats. This does have the 165 track 8 series, so it has the 2.75 pitch, and it gets up and rips compared to, I had a 2.6 track on the 7 series on my old Khaos, and it was good, but nothing like a boost. I will tell you, I'll never go back to anything that is not boosted. And I honestly probably won't go back to anything other than this sled. The Matrix chassis is absolutely insane, what they have accomplished. Turns like a dime, go anywhere you want. I mean, it's just awesome. So, we'll kind of get into the little details of the boost a little bit. This is a completely stock snowmobile. I know I said we put a silver kit on my dad's Alpha 1. There's a lot to be said on that. That snowmobile probably has 250 horse. This has 185, 180. There's no real numbers yet, but somewhere in that range. I know if you take the can off and you tune them, you can get them right up there with really any silver kit or any aftermarket turbo kit. So there's a few things you can do. I probably won't do anything other than a can, and that's purely for weight reduction. They aren't really loud. You'd be surprised. More than anything, you hear the blow off, which is super sick. Yeah, other than that, amazing sled. I am really disappointed in not being able to ride it until I went last weekend. This is really the only ride that I was able to have, which was, what, March 1st? It's March, right? Yeah, March 1st. I was able to go for one actual ride, but I will say it was worth the wait. They're insane machines. I don't know if it's $25,000. It's insane with it being like 5 months late. I was supposed to have it back in November, but awesome sled other than that. And the little buttons and shit falling off. That sucks. So we'll kind of go into a little bit more here. I don't know the turbo specs of this sled. I tried finding them, and everywhere I said or saw pretty much just said you don't get to know. So we don't know those. I'm sure someone in the comments probably will know. We don't. So not new to Polaris. Khaos has come with the Velocity high-low shocks. They're adjustable. I love these shocks. I'm only 165 pounds. But they kill it. They're all the way adjustable. I have mine set up completely for wheelies. So when I went and picked this up from the dealership, we sat here and messed with the shocks to get it to stand up as much as I possibly could. I think we determined this side all the way soft, this side all the way hard, and it will stand up on a dime. If you can hold on, it will wheelie. Surprisingly enough, with these shocks, you can actually sit down. You can keep the skis down on an uphill climb, even though it's a Khaos. And with my shocks being set up, I like it a lot. I really haven't been riding that much. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a pro. I've been riding 4 years, and I love it. Awesome. Probably my favorite part about this sled. I have owned Polarises for the last 4 years. I bought all of them brand new. This. Oh my gosh, this is a lifesaver. The little tether. Every other snowmobile comes with them stock. Polaris finally came out with it, and it is awesome. Cannot believe it took them that long to get it. Cannot tell you how many times I've fallen off all of my old sleds and not had it. Yes, I know I should have put a tether on it, and I know they make a kit, but I shouldn't have to pay all that money and not have a tether. So that is good on Polaris. So this snowmobile, I did snow check with electric start. I know it's a little bit of weight, not everyone loves it, but I get sick of pulling this thing. Super good. It sounds like a Briggs & Stratton lawnmower starting up, but it works good. As you can see, my fuel is low. That is one pretty rough thing about these is they munch fuel. After an entire day of riding with naturally aspirated sleds, I will be out of fuel and they will still be at a half a tank. And obviously that's completely dependent on how you ride, but I kind of ride like a goon. So the adjustability on this screen is hands down one of my favorite parts about this sled. This was my last ride that I went on. We got super socked in. I couldn't see anything and I couldn't figure out where the hell the truck was. So I just went on my map. I knew I placed a pin here and I just told it to take me back there. Awesome for that. I mean, you can go anywhere, get lost and get back. So that's way nice about Polaris. They did do really good on that. There's my little loop that we did. And then obviously the rest of it, I don't really use, I know this screen has all these functions to call and text and listen to music. Most of the time my screen is completely covered in snow though, so it's good. I don't use it. I should. I paid a lot of money for it, but I don't use it. Here's my odometer. I just barely got past break-in, although since I did just get a brand new ECU, it will say my break-in's not here, and it says I've only ran my engine for 3.9 hours because everything in here is new except for the screen. They did have to replace this button. It fell off in the deep snow, as well as this antenna. Don't lose those. It's $300 to fix if it's not under warranty, so mostly the antenna. The antenna is really expensive. They have these little plugs in here. I use this to charge my phone. It also connects my phone to my screen, and if I had headphones or wore headphones, I could kind of run the whole shindig through this screen. Super cool. This is also heated, so everything in here is warm. So other than that, or with that, it's killer. I love this screen. I really do. It's super awesome. There's birds in our attic. Look at that. You can mess around with it. Everyone that knows these sleds, I'm sure, has watched 7 million videos on them. You can completely adjust it to however you want. And I just kind of have mine set up for the necessities. So I'll kind of just run through some of the handlebar controls here. This is just your push on off pretty much. Your key, this turns it on and off as well. These are your brights and your low beams. These are your grip warmers. You got high and low. High is way too hot all the time. I never run them on high. I have reverse, and then just your buttons up here. Your up and down buttons, your home button, your little toggle, and your back button. It's super simple. So Polaris with the Boost models have these little orange fins in the lights. Non-Boost models have white fins. These lights are kick-ass. In the dark, so much vision. I love them. These little fins, they look cool. They don't really have much function other than looking badass, which I enjoy. I like the orange because of the Boost, and my sled's orange and green. I do wish I did get a green tunnel and green spindles, but I don't know what I was thinking. Same price, just didn't get it. I don't know if I'll end up keeping this sled. I think I'm gonna sell it and snow check. I've had too many issues with it. I wanna get another one, I love them, but they need to figure out some issues. And I think with the year 2023, I think it's too new for it to actually have solved those issues as I've experienced. It has not been very fun dealing with it, so. All right. After all the negative commentary that I've had and all the negative experiences I've had with this machine, I will still stick with the statement Polaris makes the best snowmobiles on the market. I will stick with Polaris. I have had struggles this year. I think this is kind of a coincidence. I don't think it's typical of them. I've never had any other issues with any of my other sleds, so been a little bit of a struggle, but I still will stand by Polaris being the best machine. They're way light, they have a ton of power, their tracks are killer. I mean, their chassis, in my opinion, best chassis on the market. The technology they have is insane. The amount of boost you can create at the low end and the carry through the high end is untouchable compared to anything else. Aftermarket, stock, I stick by the statement Polaris is by far the best snowmobile on the market.